Hello everyone, Shaoling here, and oh my goodness, we seem to have another disaster of a PC port in the form of Mafia 3. So as you know, the game was released last night for us in Europe here, and it has a 30 FPS cap along with some other stuttering and all kinds of other issues that I seem to be reading about up on the Reddit and the forums. Not good at all. For those of you who don't know, 2K withheld the review versions of the game from the press. So normally if a publisher is confident in their product, they'll have no issue in releasing it beforehand so that reviewers get ample time to play through the game to form an adequate opinion. Now there are exceptions to this. Now most of the games that have done this, where they've withheld their review copies and actually been relatively good, have been multiplayer titles. Most single player games, there's absolutely no reason to pull off stunts like this, and should usually be a red flag to anyone who is interested in purchasing the particular game. The team has made an official statement since this fiasco started. So the full statement reads, "We know how important having options that best suit your PC's performance capabilities are. The team has been hard at work ensuring that Mafia 3's performance is consistent across all platforms, and right now the game runs at a solid 30 frames per second. We are currently working on an update for PC that will give players the option to play Mafia at higher frame rates. We'll share more details about the update and when you can expect it to arrive very soon. In the meantime, the team welcomes any feedback and would like to hear from you about what performance adjustments options are important to you. We're actively considering a number of additional post-launch improvements that would give players more control over how they tailor the game's experience to suit their rig's performance. It's been an incredible journey developing Mafia 3, and we couldn't be more excited to get the game in your hands and hear what you think." Let's break down some of these comments, shall we? So firstly, the team has been hard at work ensuring that Mafia 3's performance is consistent across all platforms. What is it about developers and having to make games consistent between PC and consoles? The PC is far superior in all of its hardware specifications. All this quote says to me is that they were incapable of getting the PC version to run at a solid 60 frames a second consistently, and thus decided to cap it at 30, just like Batman Arkham Knight. The only other explanation is that they deliberately nerfed the frame rate on PC so that it matched the consoles for some unknown reason, which is just absurd if you think about it. Secondly, they said that the game runs at a solid 30 frames per second. Now, first off, guys, 2K, I just have to say, there's nothing solid about 30 frames a second. I'm sorry. On PC, we've been running games at 60 FPS plus for as long as I can remember. In fact, nowadays, many people have high refresh rate monitors, so they are gaming at 100 plus, 120 plus, 144 plus frames per second. So 30 frames a second, that's just absolutely unacceptable on the PC platform. But they did say that they're currently working on an update that will give players the option to play at higher frame rates. The other section I want to bring to your attention is, in the meantime, the team welcomes feedback and would like to hear from you about what performance adjustment options are important to you. How about an actual frame rate? That's a good performance adjustment. Anyway, and then they went on to say that they're actively considering a number of additional post-launch improvements on PC that will give you more control of how you can tailor your game experience. And finally, they said, "We currently have a patch running here at the studio that includes 30, 60 and unlimited frames per second options in the video menu, among other improvements for PC version of Mafia 3. We're verifying the patch now to ensure that everything is working as expected. If everything goes well, we expect the update to go live this weekend. We'll be keeping the PC community up to date on the status of the patch throughout the weekend, and thank you for all your feedback." At least they're making a fix for it. So hopefully they get that out soon. You know, this kind of issue is happening so often on PC now. Just offhand, of course, we have the Batman Arkham Knight, we had XCOP 2, we had Tomb Raider, and the list goes on with games that are released in this unoptimized state. Now, I'm not saying that Mafia 3 is a bad game, but it's difficult to get an opinion about the game when there are all these strange frame rate and performance problems that are inherent in the current version that we have. So it surprises me that with the amount of streamers and YouTubers and press sites that got to play the preview version of the game at 2K on, according to their own words, high-end PCs, it surprises me that none of them actually noticed that the game was running at 30 frames a second. Very odd indeed. I would have to assume that these guys were under some kind of NDA to not say anything about the frame rate in their preview videos. Nothing else would make sense, because there's no way that PC players would not notice a game running at 30 frames a second. But aside from the frame rate and performance issues that seem to be present in Mafia 3, it could still be a good game once they've sorted all those things out and added the additional graphics options and things like that into the game. I was actually looking forward to Mafia 3. I really enjoy open world third-person games, and Mafia 3 looked like it might be something quite interesting. Of course, I did have my concerns about it, especially since they withheld the review codes and things like that. But the question is the gameplay itself going to hold up to any kind of scrutiny? There have been mixed opinions on the Reddit and on the forums about the game. Some people are saying it's kind of boring and very repetitive. Others are saying it's really good and it's the game that they've been looking for. So I guess there's mixed opinions all around, as there are with very many games. I think we're just going to have to wait for reviews to surface before diving into this. I think that we should at least wait until they fix the frame rate issues before picking this game up, if you haven't picked it up already. But otherwise, I don't really think there's much else to say about Mafia 3. We can just hope that this weekend fixes the frame rate and performance problem. I'll keep monitoring the Reddit and things like that, because I am actually looking forward to this game, and I do hope they fix it, because I would like to play another good open world game. But anyway, guys, that wraps up this video about, I guess it was somewhat of a rant about Mafia 3. Yeah, I've been Charling, and I'll see you guys next time.